Hi, I'm Joan Cartan Hansen, and welcome to Science Trek, the web show, and welcome to the Idaho Museum of Natural History on the Idaho State University campus in Pocatello. Joining me to answer your questions about soil are David Huber and Carla Rabernack. Thank you both for being here.
Great, thanks for having us.
Glad to be here.
Okay, let's go to your questions.
Hi, my name is Liam. I go to Oahe Harbor Elementary School. My question is, can we make anything out of soil?
Well, all over the world, people build houses and other things from what we call adobe, which is a mixture of soil and other materials. You can also, pottery is made from clay, and then I've also seen a lot of art made from soil.
I would add one thing that I think NASA right now is actually looking at using soil or regolith on Mars with 3D printers to actually build structures and components that they would need to sustain people on Mars. So that's another cool way that we could use soils.
Catherine asks, why is the third layer of soil called the parent layer?
Well, the third layer or horizon of the soil is called a parent layer for the same reason that your mom and dad are called your parents. It's because you came from them. And the same is true for that parent layer or horizon. The soils above it came from that material. It could be weathered bedrock or sands or silts, but the soil that's forming above it was originally formed from that material, and that's why it's parent material.
And I would add, just like David said, that just like you get some characteristics from your parents, like maybe your hair color or if you have curly hair, the soil will also get some characteristics from its parent material. So it might get its texture or some of its color came from the parent material.
Hi, my name is Abigail, and I go to Oahe Harbor Elementary School. And my question is, why do we need soil?
Well, there's a lot of reasons that we need soil. I would say, it grows the plants that we use for food and that for other animals use for food. That's very important. It grows the plants that produce the oxygen that we breathe. That's very important. Soils are also very important for regulating and controlling our climate. They store carbon. That carbon, which they take out of the atmosphere as carbon dioxide, they have almost 3.5 times more carbon in the soils and in the plants that grow on them than's in the atmosphere. Now you can imagine if that carbon was in the atmosphere, that would change our climate quite a bit. So those are some really important reasons that soils are important to us.
Hi, my name is Skylar, and my question is, how can we protect soil?
Well, I think there's a two-part answer to that question, and it would be, first, we need to keep it in place, keep it intact. And the second would be, we need to keep it healthy. So to protect it and keep it in place, we need to protect it from erosion. So erosion can happen through wind or water most commonly. So for wind, you might want to, if you plant grass or trees, those root systems help keep that soil in place. If you're a farmer, you could plant a windbreak along the edge of your field, and that would help protect a recently plowed field from blowing away. For rain events, if you're a farmer, you could plant your crops across the slope, or when we build roads, make sure that we build them across the contours so that instead of straight up the hill, so that if it rains, it doesn't wash all that soil away. So if we're keeping it in place, we're protecting it from erosion, then we also want to make sure we're keeping it healthy. So if you're harvesting crops or trees, you want to make sure that you're replacing those nutrients that you've taken out in the harvest. You also want to try not to contaminate your soils. You know, if you're trying not to dump your motor oil or gasoline or paints or anything that you wouldn't put in your body, you probably don't want to put in the soil. And that way we can keep our soils productive and healthy, and you know, try not to compact them and keep them not even build on our most productive soils.
Hi, my name is Mahala, and I was wondering how soil is made.
Well, sometimes it starts with a rock. So if that rock gets rained on or frozen or falls or breaks, somehow it breaks into smaller pieces until we have a lot of little pieces of rock grains. And then you'd add to that organic matter, a leaf blowing in and decomposing, or maybe a plant that grew, an animal waste gets incorporated, over thousands of years, those rock grains and the organic material, and then add to that some water and some air in between the particles, then that mixture is what we call soil.
Colin would like to know, can you grow any plant in soil?
Well, you can grow most plants in soil depending on if you know what they need as far as nutrients and water. But there are also other plants that don't grow in soils. You've got plants that are epiphytes that grow on other plants, get their nutrients from the air and dust, and rain. There's parasitic plants. You can also do hydroponics, which is growing plants in water, without any medium to hold the nutrients.
Hello, my name is Ruby and I am from Basin Elementary. My question is, what nutrients are in soil and how do they help plants?
So there are a lot of nutrients in soil. We kind of break them into categories of primary, secondary, and then some trace nutrients. And they're all important equally, but the primary or the macronutrients are usually the ones that the plants need the most of. So those would be like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
Samuel would like to know, what is decaying?
So decaying is the process of bacteria and fungi breaking down organic material. They use that material, the carbon and other properties of it, for energy, and they leave a little extra though, and that material that they leave over is then incorporated into the soils and used by other organisms for energy and other processes.
Hi, my name is Nicole and I go to Hawaii Harbor Elementary School. My question is, what other living thing can you find in soil?
So soils have lots of different organisms in them. They're full of bacteria and fungi, which make up the bulk of living creatures in the soil. But we can also find insects, and obviously there's plant roots that are penetrating down into the soil, and there's all kinds of fun things that live down there.
Indy would like to know, how many different types of soil are there?
Well, most soil scientists recognize 12 orders of soil, and those can describe things like a frozen soil or a soil that formed from volcanic materials or organic materials. And there are finer groups of soils, but the number of uniquely different soils is infinite, too many to count.
I'm sorry, we've run out of time. My thanks to David and Carla for answering questions.
Thank you for having us.
It was our pleasure.
And thanks too to the folks here at the Idaho Museum of Natural History for hosting us. If you want to learn more about this topic, check out the soil area on the Science Trek website. You'll find facts, links, games, our soil broadcast show, and lots more. And every week, check out my blog for the latest science news for kids, all at idahoptv.org. Thanks for joining us for this Science Trek, the Web Show.